Good afternoon. My name is Catherine Yarrow. One of the powerful axes of identity studied in this course, Self, Education and Society, is race. This term race has been used to sort and label groups of people, to categorise them by shared characteristics. This construction of the other has been done mainly out of ignorance and fear of the unknown. It is still being used to marginalise people today, both within our own country and overseas. In Australia, we have a variety of cultures which make up our nation. It was the White Australia policy, called the Immigration Restriction Act of 1901, which demonstrated a strong mark of racial superiority in this country, along with the Reserve Policy, which segregated Aboriginal people with dire consequences for them, and the horrendous mistake of our government in removing Aboriginal children so they could be assimilated into the Anglo-Australian world. So Australia has a history which demonstrates its fear and suspicion of all those who are different from the first white settlers. Yet this week we celebrate again a national event of Reconciliation Week. I hope that we continue to move forward as a nation in forgiveness, intolerance and acceptance. A recent study from the USA has been commissioned on children and race. A white child and a black child both look at the same picture of two children on the playground. Here is the picture. Overall, these first graders, it was the black children who saw that mostly these children could be friends, where it was the white children, over 70%, who believed that there was something negative happening in the picture. Professor Dr. Killen, who worked on this study, says that the divide often begins at home, and it is how parents speak with their children about race. She also says the other important aspect is friendship, that there's almost nothing as powerful as having a friend of a different racial, ethnic background to reduce prejudice, and to have that experience can enable children to challenge the stereotypes. Children realise early on that they are different from other children, but different does not need to mean deficit or that something is lacking. My current classroom is an early childhood setting, and as I'm a music specialist, usually in the lesson I sing a story song to the children. And in today's class, I'm sharing with the children a storybook, a beautiful book by Mem Fox and Helen Oxenford, called 10 Little Fingers and 10 Little Toes. The children have opportunity to have a look at these beautiful pictures of babies and small children who are all different. They are born from in different places from all over the world. Some have dark skin, some have light skin. They are all different, and yet, as the story says, they are all the same, as they all have 10 little fingers and 10 toes. I have a brief discussion with the children afterwards. Is it important to reflect on what they've seen in the story? And for this visual learning tool of a story song, for them to be discussion opportunity at home to talk with parents about the children that they know in their peer group, in their neighbourhood or in their class, who are different but who are not less than them. But hopefully the message is that although we are different, that we are each unique and special. Thank you. Today, I'd like to sing you a story about some children. Let's have a listen. There was one little baby who was born far away, and another who was born on the very next day. And both of these babies, as everyone knows, has 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. There was one baby who was born in a town, and another who was wrapped in an eider down. And both of these babies, as everyone knows, has 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. There was one little baby who was born in the hills, and another who suffered from sneezes, achoo, and chills. And both of these babies, as everyone knows, has 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. There was a little baby who was born on the ice, and another in a tent who was just as nice. And both of these babies, as everyone knows, has, can you guess, 10 little fingers and 10 little toes.
On the swing.
They were on the swing. But the next little baby was truly divine, sweet little child who was mine, all mine. And this little baby, as everyone knows, has 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. And 3 little kisses on the tip of its nose. Did you like that story?
Yeah.
What did you notice about all the children, Millie?
All the children, they were happy to see us.
They were happy to see you, of course. And do all the children look the same? No. Some have very dark hair and some have very light hair.
And gold hair.
Gold hair, that's right. And some have dark skin and some have light skin. But even though they're each different, they're actually all the same because they all have 10 little fingers and 10 little toes. And if you look at each other here, we are all different too, aren't we? Some have darker hair, some have light coloured hair,
I got one.
some have different colour altogether, don't you? Your beautiful hair.
I got my dad's hair.
You do have your dad's hair.
And I've got my dad's hair.
Have you? And what about our eyes? Our eyes are different. Some have got blue and some have got brown.
I got
Brown.
blue.
You do? And what do you have?
Blue.
You've got brown eyes and you've got beautiful hair. And our skins are in a different colour. If you look at our hands and our skin are all just a bit different.
Look at mine.
Yes, that's right. But even
Mine's white.
it is light. But even though we're all different, we're all the same as well, aren't we? How many fingers have you got?
10.
10. How many toes have you got?
10.
Well done. You do.